Okay. Wait, is it going? I think it's going. Yay! All right. Woo! Victory. It's going. We did it again. Show number 714. 714, baby. Almost that magical 741 number. All right, everybody. Hello. How's it going? Are you rocking and rolling? It's Tuesday. Stuff's still like super wild around here in the world. There was a giant flash crash towards the end of the day when Donald Trump said that America is going to make their own cooking oil. Why that caused a flash crash, I still don't quite understand. I mean, I understand cooking oil is a decent market, and I guess China produces most of it. I don't know. But yeah, America's going to start producing cooking oil again, and the market was like, no! I don't understand anything. But the major short who opened a bunch of shorts on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all this crypto up to a minute before Donald Trump said he's going to impose new tariffs on China on Friday, opened up a whole bunch of new shorts just before the cooking oil thing. So methinks that time to follow that account around and see what they're gaming, because they're in the know. Baron and Eric. What else? BBBY warrants are as of yesterday, are now trading. They're like $1.75, $1.80, somewhere in there at the moment. They're listed as like 2 million% short or whatever it is. It is insane. Maybe you need 2 million% the collateral to short it. It's something ridiculous. And people think it's tied to the defunct BBBYQ because the QSIP numbers kind of match up. I don't know if that's a clerical thing or if that's actually what it is, but yikes. Javier Milei's in D.C. Donald Trump told him that if anyone except Javier's party wins the elections, that the United States won't send any money to Argentina. And Javier Milei was like, oh. What else is happening? Monkey butt, huh? What else? We got Mariners won yesterday, and they're now up 2-0 on the Toronto Blue Jays. So Yasavage, who was the hot young rookie who's dominated the Yankees last week, got raked by the Mariners. Basically, he's an over-the-top pitcher. I was an over-the-top pitcher. Like, he had a lot of movement up and down, arm height really high. His release point is the highest in baseball at 7'2". And so what the Mariners did was they put a pitching machine on stilts and just pitched down at all the hitters, and the hitters just golfed. And it worked because they raked them over the coals. Mariners won 10-3 yesterday. Now we're back in Seattle tomorrow for what should be a very exciting game. And the Mariners just need 2 more wins in their World Series for the first time in their franchise history. So, we're pretty stoked around here, right, Monkey? Are you stoked? I know you're stoked. You were super stoked. I think it's a spider web on your back. That's really annoying. Okay. There's a super chat when I shut off the show on Sunday. And saying that someone got in contact with Rosa and that she's doing well and that she is just super busy. So, yay. Good to hear that Rosa's doing well because I haven't heard from her at all. So, all right. Shall we click on the Who's Your What's It? I think so.
Houston, we have a problem.
Boop. Okay, there we go. All right. Turkish. Yo. Happy birthday, HW. Let's talk by feeding Monkey Butt some stanky snack. Tell us about BBY and Jamie. We can do that. We can do one of these guys right here. Want one of these stinkers, buddy? Yeah, does that make you excited? You want to put more crumbs in your bed? Oh, all right. Ugh. Steak treats. Okay. Oh, geez. I don't know where that magnet went. How did I manage to knock that off? Oh, I forgot. We got a new poster up. Finally. It's almost $50. It's from don'ttrustbillionaires.com, our new wall sponsor. A reminder, if you want to be up on the wall, $50. It stays up there until someone else pays $50, puts a new one up. So my guess is get used to don'ttrustbillionaires.com for the next 6 months until somebody wants to throw $50 my way. All right, cool. BBBY and GME. So it looks like some of the arbitration cases are getting closed on the BBBY side. What else is happening, Monkey? Anything else on that side? Oh, is it stuck in your mouth? You all right? Okay. I'm not entirely sure if there's anything else going on the BBY side. GME's been getting hammered down. Something like 9 million shares of GameStop have been borrowed since the end of August. So it looks like they're looking to just hammer it as best they can and short it, keep the price down. But they don't want those options to ever get to the point where they can trigger. But at some point, there's going to be a big volume day that's going to outstrip any of those shares that they have. So, I don't have anything else on that. Yeah, you guys might bring up some other stuff. Mike Martin, no. Yogi 2012, Schwab told me warrants can't be DRS, which seems contradictory to what I've seen from ComputerShare. I think certain brokers are allowing it and others are not. I also saw the IBKR, if you want to exercise a warrant, is going to charge you $1,000 to exercise that warrant, which is insane and probably criminal. I think that calling the SEC and getting a compliance officer in there might get them to change that. It's bonkers. Don't execute this $30 warrant. That'll be $1,000, please. It's like several years ago, I had to do an engine replacement on the war rig before that engine broke. But before that, it was like 10 grand. You know, I had like $6,000 cash, and I was like, oh, I just need a credit card to pay off the rest, and it'll be fine. So I ended up getting an American Express card, and I had a fun time with the American Express card because it gave me like 4 times the points at restaurants and 4 times the points at grocery stores. And so every night I would go and I would buy a $500 prepaid debit card and get 2,000 American Express points for it, and then go across the parking lot, put that sucker into my ATM and deposit it back into my account and do it again the next night. I did that for like 8 months. I racked up almost 500,000 American Express points, and this was like January to August of 2019 or so. And then I got a notice from American Express being like, hey, you're spending like 20 grand a month and we don't know how, so we're going to cancel your card. I was like, fuck. Like, you've got 1 week to do something with all your American Express points before we like erase them all. And it just so happened that I got an email from Amazon at that point, was like, hey, we now accept American Express points for purchases. I was like, cool. So I bought myself a 65-inch 8K TV with a chunk of those points. I took the other 300,000 plus points and I split them into Air Canada and into British Airways. Because at the time I was in discussions with Nat Geo, which is based in London, and I had a Canadian production company doing my rock TV show, and I was like, well, I'm making all these trips, might as well put them into these guys. And they gave you like a bonus. You know, you put 100,000 points in, they give you an extra 100,000 miles, and so you get 200,000 miles out of that. And I had all these British Airway miles, and I was planning my trip to go to Switzerland, and I was like, hey, British Airways flies, you know, I just do Seattle, London, Switzerland, good to go. And so I look online, and the price for the ticket's like $440. Okay, I've flown British Airways before. Why not? But then I was like, oh, I got these points, so I'm going to do a free flight, right? And use my points. And so I go to their little portal for their air miles, Avion or whatever they call it, and I punch in, you know, the trip, do my air miles, and they're like, your ticket's free, your taxes are $750. Like, what? Why are the taxes more expensive than just buying the ticket? Doesn't make any sense. That is IBKR. trying to make sure you don't exercise those warrants. They don't want to use your free air miles. They want to make it more expensive to use the air miles than it is to actually like just buy a ticket from them. And they don't. FBKR does not want you to exercise those warrants, so they make it so freakishly expensive, no one ever touches it. So, yeah. And they can't DRS them because they know that they don't have any real warrants in there, that they're all naked. And that's why. In Yogi 2012, hope you had fun at that game. Oh my goodness, I had a great time up until, you know, I don't know if you saw Sunday's show, but a dude died in front of me at the show, at the game, like right before the bottom of the 15th inning when we won. And we had to carry him up through the stands up to the mezzanine where some cops started doing CPR on him. I got to see the end of the game, but it was kind of a weird, like, woo, yay, Mariners, I hope that guy's alive type moment. And like I said, I'm still processing that. I don't know if I'll ever really process it. The one thing I'm thankful for is I didn't have to do the CPR this time, and doing CPR is really traumatic. If you have to do it, man. And my biggest piece of advice is when you're doing chest compressions, be scared about how violent you're doing the chest compressions. Like, you expect broken ribs, expect cracked sternums, expect bruising. The only way you can get through a person's chest to really manipulate their heart is with as much force as possible. It should scare you about how much you're doing it. And it's jarring. It is really jarring to have to do CPR on somebody. But in the end, if they live, you will be so grateful that you knew how to do that. But at the same time, you know, your brain will try to cope with the episode for the rest of your life. I've had to do it 3 times now. And 2 of the times I have no idea if the person survived or not. They got when the ambulance, I didn't know who they were. When the ambulance disappeared, I never heard word again. And then the other time was my friend Brett at work, and he's alive to this day. And I'm grateful for every moment of that. So yeah, just focus on chest compressions. Don't worry about like breathing or any of that stuff. Just chest compressions all day long with brutal amount of force and weight put on it. So that's my advice. And the cops were doing it right when we dropped them off. That's what I saw was they were going hard on this poor guy, and that's what you got to do to try and give him a chance. So that's my advice. So everyone should do a CPR course, get updated. I mean, I know a lot of, like, I did CPR courses in elementary school. They taught us how to do it, and things have changed. Unless somebody has drowned, you don't really need to blow air into their lungs to try to force stuff out. Just focus on chest compressions and just keep that going for as long as you can. If you tire, have somebody else swap in, because it is exhausting to do it. So there'll be a lot of adrenaline going through, which will hopefully carry over. But that's my advice. So yeah. KCB, don't trust billionaires, promotes local homeless shelters that lost Doge funding, and also helps abuse women and people in Ohio. There you go. Don't trust billionaires. That's what they do. They're helping out folks that got destroyed by billionaires, basically. So thank you, KCTB, for sponsoring and getting the board up there. Brenda Wells says, sup, BBYQ. Wait and seeing still. Kelly Reed, happy birthday. China says it will fight U.S. trade war to the end. China has a 100-year plan when the U.S. can't even fund their government. Reverse repo, by the way, hit $3.5 billion. Reverse repo is about to evaporate entirely, I believe. Yeah, the people in charge in the U.S. government do not have any long-term strategy about anything. They're largely incompetent, but what they're really good at is manipulation and instant gratification. So they know that they're shit at their jobs, and they know that everything is going into the dumpster. But they also know they can make a shitload of money off of it while it crashes. And that's what they're going for. They're going for, putting giant shorts on BTC and then crashing it all in one go. And then whispering that, hey, we're going to take off the thing, so go along. And then they go along and they make a bunch of money up, and then they crash it again. This is what they're doing. They're manipulating the market, and they're manipulating the American public so they can make a fortune off of all this. And they don't care if there's an America in 100 years. They don't care if there's an America next year. All they care about is having theirs. And fuck you. That's it. Jiga Shukla, you see Thiel call Greta Thunberg the Antichrist. Peter Thiel is such a weird dude. Like, you have a gay man. And be gay, don't be gay. Whatever it is, you live your truth, man. But you have a gay man who's funding a whole bunch of people who are homophobic and awful. That's Peter Thiel. He spends a bunch of money on these really homophobic groups. Why would you want to fund groups that want to see you dead? I don't understand the psychology behind it. He's obsessed with the Antichrist. And the Antichrist, is, if you read Revelation, it's an insane, drug-induced, schizophrenic book. But the Antichrist is this person that people will rally around and then praise and worship and whatnot. And Peter Thiel, for some reason, is really, really worried about the Antichrist. And so he's like been holding these seminars talking about the Antichrist and all this stuff. And it's like, dude, the Christians don't think you should live. You're gay, right? Like the fundamentalists. But anyway, he's now saying Greta Thunberg is the Antichrist, this autistic young lady who wants to clean up the oceans and ensure people have freedom. That's the Antichrist. And not the guy who sells merch to everyone and has a cult of personality and embodies all 7 deadly sins, while the actual Christians worship him. That guy's not the Antichrist at all. It's very weird. It's a very weird obsession that Peter Thiel has. And the guy looks like he only drinks canola oil for sustenance. He's like the greasiest dude I've ever seen in my entire life. Just veins popping out of his forehead. Getting absolutely stumped by simple questions during interviews. It's really weird how these guys somehow amass kajillions of dollars and still just are the weirdest dudes. Weirdest dudes, monkey. Weirdest dudes. Completely unrelated. Also, Kelly Reid, Fred Jerome Powell suggests tightening program that could end soon. They're getting ready to print again. Liquidity was wave incoming. Risk assets about to catch a serious bid if this keeps up. What we appear to have right now in the corporate bond world is a system where companies take out loans from shadow banks, from weird quasi-investment banks like Jefferies and whatnot. And then Jefferies takes an insurance out on that loan that would pay out more if they don't pay off their loan. And then it seems like they're in cahoots with the company involved to make sure they don't pay off the loan and everyone gets paid on it. So let's say your company, you take out $2 billion, right? Take out $2 billion, you give yourselves you and a bunch of executives a whole bunch of bonuses, and you go, all right, and you have no intention of paying off this loan. And then Jefferies has taken out an insurance policy on that loan in case you don't pay it out that pays out more than the loan itself. And then they're like, destroy the company. So they short the company like crazy, they do all this stuff, and then you stop paying the loan, the company goes bankrupt, everyone gets paid. The executives walk with their salary and their bonuses, never to pay anything back. And that's it. And it seems to be that this is what's happening. And I think the first real big opening salvo, I guess, opening salvo, I'm not really sure which metaphor I'm going to use, in this is what's happening with First Brands. That First Brands took out $50 billion in loans, paid their executives handsomely. The CEO apparently is a real weirdo who's like never had his picture taken, and all their money went poof. And then Jefferies is making a fortune off of the insurance of these unpaid bonds. So it's very strange. The cat's yelling at the door. 1 sec. All right, turd. Come on. Yeah. Meow, meow, meow. Whatever. Come in here and yell. Wish you'd just stay outside forever, cat. There he is. Okay. Don't you dare. Don't. I just put a new one up. Don't you do it. All right? You're going to stay turned that way. Yeah, rub your face on that. Okay. Video guy, where I put my broom? Go Mariners. Ooh, a sweep would be amazing. Who do you think it's going to be? Come on. Right now, it seems probably like Dodgers, Mariners. I take the Mariners on that. The Mariners absolutely whooped on the Dodgers at the end of the season. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you dare. You turn this way. Turn that way. Yeah, you face that direction. I can give you drugs. You want me to give you drugs? Well, maybe I'll make you happy. You want some of this? Yeah? Okay. Come over here. Give you drugs. Right there. Okay. Keep that up. Yeah, snort it. Do whatever you gotta do. Don't blow it around your face. Just lick it. Okay. Sometimes sommelier, I have IBKR BS calls in place of legitimate warrants. Should I increase my position or buy actual warrants in my Fidelity account? That's what I've been doing. I also put in a limit order to pick up 333 BBBY bonds at $1.50. I think it will probably dip to that at some point, and I'll pick those up. And if GME bonds happen to drop below $2, I'll probably pick up 1,000 or so of those. Just kind of waiting to see what happens with those. But yeah, why not pick them up at Fidelity? Fidelity seems like they're going to do it better. Louis throwing some stickers out there. Louis says, hit the like button. ECB, when Crash probably answers... Oops, shoot. And I just reset the chat. Sorry. ECB, where'd you go? There we go. When Crash probably answers, when merger acquisition, are we going beyond November? Will China taco force markets to crash? Bank corruption's paying off for them. Oh yeah, I'm just rolling it. I kind of get what your stunted wording is saying there. I think when a crash comes, right now GME is set up as a negative beta stock. The one thing it has going against it is that they've got the $500 million in Bitcoin that will crash along with it, and then people will point to it and go, "Oh, they made a terrible mistake and they've lost so much money." So that's one way that they'll hurt themselves being negative beta, but they still have $8 billion in cash after that, and if the stock shoots above $32, they'll have $11 billion in cash. So, or 10 plus, whatever it is. So you're covered in your drugs, you weirdo. But yeah, I think China at this point is just sick of our shit. They're pretty much resolved. Nope, don't you dare. They're pretty much resolved to become the global dominant force, and they see us in massive decline. Our markets are overvalued. Our companies are overvalued. The dollar is crashing hard. We have a president who's like just absolutely destroying our manufacturing and our ability to export, while pissing off all of our trade partners and allies. And China, everyone knows China's evil. You know, Xi is a bad dude, right? But that's the devil you know. And if it's purely transactionary, you're like, I know you're evil, but we're going to be transactionary and we know what we're going to get. They're going to deal with that. Whereas they know that Donald Trump is beyond evil, and you don't know if he's going to change his mind any moment now. Like, why would you sign a trade deal with a guy who's going to ignore the trade deal he just signed? Why would you buy weapons from a guy who's telling you that you should get overrun by the Russians? Why would you want to deal with that? You don't. So you're just going to ignore and wait for 3.5 years and hope that somebody more competent comes in and fixes all the mess that he left behind. And that's all you can hope for. And yeah. So, I forgot to put that in live chat. I also forgot to put that in multi-stream. Dang it. So yeah, the market's going to go puny pop at some point. There's nothing holding it up right now that's legit. Tom Zock, when seed oil stocks rip up to 120% after hours, Scoot Seed, you know we live actually in a real clown timeline. I bet nobody had this in the bullshit bingo card. I did not. No. Did you? Are you thinking about it? You just think about your drugs, addict. Weirdness, man. Orlando Moscow, what's up with Beyond? Well, they don't exist. They are now BBBY. And I don't know what's up with them. Wormfall, Houston, happy birthday. If you had to defend shorts and MOAS not ever happening, what would your main points be? Also, do you keep in touch with any of the other YouTubers from GME AMC coverage? I mean, at times we interact every once in a while on social media. But a lot of them don't do stuff anymore. They don't make shows. They aren't out there. So, you don't really see them much. First part of the question. I think the one argument that shorts have going for them is that they currently have the power to manipulate. And that's a power we do not have. So they can borrow cajillions of dollars of stuff. They can pull money out of thin air. They can basically break the law at will and no one's going to do anything. And that is their greatest superpower. And that's the one thing the shorts have going for them. Is that they can do that. They can get their people on the boards. They can do, death spirals. They can destroy the companies from within. They can get their little, Boston Consulting or McKinsey, what's the word I'm looking for, Kitty? Consultants in there. Duh. And they can manipulate, and they've got infinite money to do it, or at least infinite borrowing or pulling money out of thin air to do it. It works until it doesn't anymore. Basically, there comes a time when the bill comes due, and we see it happen. Bear Stearns, AIG, Lehman Brothers. We see it with Enron. We see it with First Brands that just went bankrupt. At some point, you might be king of the hill, like I'm on top of everything, but you're finagling and you're pushing stuff around. Eventually, the bill comes due, and if you can't pay it, that's it. The party's over, and that's kind of what we're hoping for. Is that at some point the party's going to be over. But there's a lot of like balls in the air that they're juggling right now, and all it might take is one Baron Trump being super greedy enough to destroy the entire crypto market and short everything and make a cajillion dollars. And then all of a sudden that wipes out investment banks, commercial banks, and pension funds and everything else. And then the whole system, which has been artificially inflated, just disappears. And then all of a sudden no one has the power to do anything about anything. It just comes down to bailouts and printing. And all the quantitative easing type stuff that we need in those moments. So, yeah. TDoc119. If they can dark pool warrants, can't they just hide them also until they're worthless in a year? Possibly. Right? But if the price goes above $32, they're getting exercised. That's the thing. Is that people will start exercising them if the price goes above $30 a share. So they got to really keep the share price from doing what it does 2 or 3 times a year, which is go above $32. And don't you do it? Don't you do it, Kat? I see you thinking about it, and don't you do it? You just keep facing that way. So, yeah. Homer's goes, happy birthday, Houston. What are your thoughts on GameStop in recent weeks? I mean, I think something's gonna come. I just don't know when, and I've been impatient for 2 years now. So I don't know how much more impatient I can get. I've been as impatient as it gets, and I really hope there's something interesting happening, because right now nothing interesting is happening, and that's right. Where are you, Kat? You're seeing things. So results of the filings come out. right around the time the warrants were issued, and those filings suggest merger acquisition and share for share or stock for stock mergers. The filings, if they don't happen in the next 90 days, have to get refiled and done again. So the expectation is that something's going to happen before the new year, and let's just hope it happens, right? Ryan Cohen has said that he's in no rush and that he wants the market to completely collapse and pick up some deals. Well, we're kind of close to that point where the markets can go pew, off a cliff. And, yeah. Aaron, why is Coot stock sick rocketing? I don't know what Coot stock is. Coots as a bird. Australian oilseeds. Oh, because oilseeds company. Yeah, all the oilseeds companies are rocketing right now because of Trump's saying that America is going to make all the cooking oil. So, yeah. Quit being the most annoying cat in the world. Could you do that for like 5 minutes and just fall asleep and be one of those? Huh? Could you? Could you do that for me? Would that be a swell thing for a stupid fat lard cat to do? Huh? Yeah? Alright. Okay. MT Houston. Should we reinstate the titles of nobility amendment? Why or why not? In what ways has it getting deleted affected us? Thanks. I don't really see a problem with that. That's the lost 13th Amendment. We talked about it a couple shows ago. Basically barring American citizens from having titles of nobility, like becoming a lord or prince or whatever. So yeah, I'm okay with that. It also would bar dual citizens from holding office. I'm actually okay with that. I understand immigrants running for office. They're part of their community. They might be smart, they might be whatever. But if you decide to then become a U.S. citizen and you want to run for office, you got to denounce your other citizenship and not. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with people existing and being dual citizens, but not holding federal office. I think that's one thing that you can be like, no, I'm not going to do. So if you are a dual citizen of another country, I don't think you should hold federal office. You got to renounce that other citizenship. I'm okay with it, personally. Polestar says, "Yo, Hot Rebel. As a diehard Orioles fan, I'm hopping on the Mariners bandwagon. Really love what you guys got going on over there. It's been really exciting. And what the crazy thing is that this is not even close to the best Mariners team ever. I honestly think the '97 team that lost to your Orioles is a better team than this one is. But the way the league is situated and the way that the streak that they're on, they're really figuring out how to win. Their win on Sunday was a lot of small ball, a lot of moving the guy over, stealing bases, knocking them in, and they won the game that way. Yesterday was a little bit more like let's bash the ball, which they also have monsters who can do that. And then pitching that just, if they make a mistake, they then hold it and then go another 10 innings without giving up a run. It's pretty phenomenal. So, yeah, I think the Mariners have a chance. I really do. I think they've got the best chance since 2001. And I think the only reason 2001 didn't work out when they had the best record ever was 9/11. I think 9/11 kind of really cut into the Mariners' mojo, and it was really hard for them to compete against a Yankees team to get to the World Series. The Yankees just had too much love and admiration behind them by the entire world, and I think the Mariners just couldn't compete with that. 9/11. So yeah. KCDB super chat is broken for me. Oh, speaking of which, is there any other super chats I missed? No, just the one, just the Jigashukla one. Okay. And a reminder, we are 10, 14, 20, $22 towards our $7,142.85 goal to get me eat that can of Spam back there. So we got $7,120 to go. And wow. So yeah, if you want to see me eat a 30-year-old can of Spam, that's what you gotta do. I'll probably be a 40-year-old can of Spam by the time we raise enough money for that. Did that one. Did that. Did Orioles win? Super chat broken. ECB, what happens to BBBY warrants if merger acquisition? My guess is that those warrants remain the same, but they will be for whatever new stock would be issued. Would be my guess, but the company reserves the right to change whatever the outcome is for those warrants. But that'd be my guess, is that they become, shares in whatever new things there are. Polestar, the world leader glazing of Trump has been pretty gross. Yeah. It's very interesting to see which world leaders are just right now, and which ones are just kind of like cooties, gross. Meloni, she's literally a fascist. Like, she's part of Mussolini's party leading Italy. Today she was having to meet Trump and listen to him talk. And the faces she was making, listening to the Prime Minister of Pakistan, just fillet Trump and say he's going to nominate him for a peace prize again. And Trump's just yes, yes, oh, feels so good. I get it. The United States has a bunch of power, but seriously, dude, don't you have does anybody have some scruples? Some balls, some ovaries at this point. Does anyone have any morals? You don't have to just be filleting him all the time. He is destroying your economies. He is making it hard to do trade globally. He is making your countries unsafe by allowing Russian influence to just wreak havoc around the globe. And you're out there just kissing up to him as if he's not going to demand more from you and be even shittier. When has giving the bully your lunch money ever stopped the bullying? It doesn't happen. It doesn't. The only time Donald Trump backs down is when he gets bullied back. And right now, the only person who truly bullies him back appears to be Putin. He's all big and bravado, meets Putin, all of a sudden he's like, "Brr." So, nut up, globe. Jeez, my knees. KCB, psychologists say Donald J. Trump has dementia. Daily Beast, how long, if ever, will we get 25th Amendment? Can't they just keep him going forever? Look at senators who are walking dead. Senators don't have to be in front of the cameras all the time, so it makes it easier to hide them away than it does with a president who is followed by a media 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, wherever they go. Oh my gosh, Kat, you are so annoying. Ow, it's my arm. But Woodrow Wilson's wife did it. This granted before television and radio, but she kept the president hidden for a year and a half, running the country, sort of acting as liaison. She's like, "Oh, I'll go tell him." And then she'd go into the bedroom where he was just completely catatonic, stroked out, and then she would just make all the decisions and fake his signature for stuff. So that seems to be the MO for going for how you prop up a corpse president. I don't know. It may come to the point where he strokes out so hard in television he collapses, and that's it. And the guy 25th Amendment may not have a choice. He's not a healthy dude. There's probably statins just keeping him barely alive at this point. And I don't know. It just seems like it's gonna be really hard to do in this day and age to truly keep it going. They'll be able to put out an AI video every once in a while. They'll fool most people. Everyone else go, "That's weird. It's AI." But everyone else, I don't think it'll work forever. I think one is nice dub against the Jays. I still hate the Seahawks. but pressure is insane. The 33 pressure is insane. Yeah, the Seahawks are honestly surprisingly better this year than I thought they would be. Sam Darnold's had some much better games. Every time I don't play him is when he just goes absolutely bonkers. I have him as my fantasy QB, and somehow I won this week. I don't know how I did that, but yeah. Hey, it's a good time to be in Seattle, I guess. We need to get a basketball team back, and then we're good. Okay. Polestar. Israel will find reasons why the ceasefire deal has been broken and will continue to level Gaza. Like with everything, just rubble. How could they even find any missing bodies? I mean, they had the opportunity to get the hostages back twice. Last year, there was a ceasefire deal negotiated by the Biden administration that resulted in the hostages being traded and returned. And then Donald Trump met with Netanyahu and told Netanyahu, like, don't do it, because if it happens, it's going to be really good for Harris in the election. So Netanyahu was like, cool, that works for me. And it didn't happen. And then a ceasefire deal was signed back in March that Israel immediately violated. Basically, the politics behind getting Donald Trump elected has resulted in dozens of the hostages dying and tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of Gazans being killed. And the powers that be in Israel have made it pretty clear that they want the land in Gaza, they want everyone gone, and they want to start developing resorts and all sorts of stuff there. It's fucked up. It's really fucked up. Netanyahu is a very bad person. And Donald Trump right now is asking the president of Israel to pardon Netanyahu for all the crimes he's committed, because he's been convicted multiple times for multiple crimes: graft, corruption, bribery, etc. And the only reason he's gone to prison is because he still empowers PM. And the minute he's no longer PM, he no longer has that power, and he is not popular. His popularity, I think he's got like a 27% approval rating, which means if they hold an election today, his party and his coalition loses badly. So, yeah, I don't know what the solution is over there. I don't think anyone does. I think just turn the whole place into Disneyland or something. Charge admission. Then everyone will be pissed off at Disney. That might be the solution. KCDB, Prof G of NYU says, is it Professor of Government? Prof G says, markets still have 20-30% upside when economists say it's a bubble. 1997 claimed a bubble didn't burst until 99, so that means 2027 is bust? Would DJT rush it with dumb tweet? He will if it means his son can make a fortune off of shorting it, yeah. So, yeah. Polestar says they'll pay $1,000 for the warrant if GME is trading at $100,000. Works for me. It's a factory. Have you seen Omex lately? It's up a lot from when you first mentioned it, like 30 cents. Any idea on the exact reason it's as high as it is? Basically, they are getting permitting more and more each day to start doing their raping of the ocean floor. So that seems to be why. That, and they got a whole bunch of money in their accounts. So that causes it to go up. King Ding Dong is here saying howdy, gang. Polestar. Another repo record, but probably because banks were closed. Maybe. Yeah, that's a good point. It was bank holiday yesterday. Aaron, I would rather buy 100 BBBY warrants over GME because it's half the price of the GME warrants. And once warrants are at the strike price and above, it just keeps going up by $1 anyway. So, yeah. Right now, the BBBY warrants are $6 away from strike because they're $15.50 and the price is like $9 and something. Whereas the GME warrants are $9 away from strike and are more expensive. The crazy upside potential for GME is higher though, because GME in the last year and a half has touched $85, whereas Beyond Bed Bath & Beyond hasn't done anything like that. So I guess that's what you gotta look at. But if it all ends up being for some crazy merger acquisition, they're all related to each other, it might just be the same thing in the end. Green-Eyed Bandit Elixir. Let's go M's. My bad not having a QB and kicker this week. The kicker they announced was out right before the kickoff on Monday Night Football. Oh, what was I playing you? Who are you playing? That's rough. I had a questionable wide receiver, and I forgot to check before their game to see if they're playing. And I just looked and I was like, oh, please don't be out. And they played and they did really well, so I was happy about that. You 2012, 9 years as an ICU nurse. You're correct. You'll likely feel ribs separating. This is normal. It's gross, but normal. Talking about CPR. Yeah, more power to you. I don't think I could do that as a job. I mean, I guess if you have to do it every day, if you were an EMT or a firefighter or an ICU nurse or an ER person, I get it. Like, you probably get used to it, but I don't know if I ever want to get used to it or if I can. Yeah. Make sure you are rough. That's the only way to do it, man. Mark Sloan, why is there commercials on the live stream? Are there commercials on the live stream? I have no idea. YouTube does stuff, dude. I don't know what's going on. It doesn't show me if there's a commercial going on, so I have no clue. Is there somewhere it would show that to me? I can't see. I don't know. I mean, I think you get commercial when you first you first join. I think it does a commercial, but until that happens, but it's like happening in the middle. There used to be a button for I can make a commercial happen. There's an insert ad button, which I've done in the past and didn't insert anything. I don't know, man. I don't know. Polestar. Oh, and Trump openly trying to rig Argentina's elections. They lose the $20 billion from the U.S. if Milei doesn't win. And the thing is that Argentina isn't getting the $20 billion. It's that billion-dollar investor that's a buddy of Bassan's to be getting all the money anyway, because he's the one that purchased all those Argentinian bonds. So, right, Cat? Right? Yeah, you're a little monster. Okay. We got 10 minutes left. Cheers, Mammy. How about bringing the Portland Frog on the show, Houston? Seems like, ow. It seems like a pretty good dude. Why not? Portland Frog, you want to come on the show? You can pet my cat. He will chew on you. King Ding Dong, together we ribbit, divided we croak. I like that. J-Dog, FTX stole Tom Brady crypto. Yeah, Tom Brady, apparently one of the things that Giselle divorced Tom Brady for. So Tom Brady retired. And then he was like, I'm going to play a little more. And then he went back, won a Super Bowl, and he's like, all right, I'm going to retire. And Gilles like, finally. And he's like, I'm going to play some more. So we're divorcing. And so at that same time, Tom Brady had taken like all $500 million that he and Giselle had amassed and put it all into FTX and lost pretty much everything. And Giselle, I think part of the reason why she divorced him was he didn't stay retired and he lost all of their money. Oops. That's why I see him do so many like Hertz commercials. He'll make it back. I mean, he's Tom Brady. He'll make it back. Hey, Ron, I'm going to exercise one at $64. Then use that to sell. Then use that sell of GME share to exercise a new warrant of GME, and then sell those shares, exercise more. I mean, basically, that's the idea: is that you get to the point where the stock price is so high, you can either sell a bunch of warrants or sell off shares, exercise more, and do it that way. Augie, Midas Canada with Charlie Angus. Fight Against Racism, a new channel spin-off from Midas Touch that has over 4 million followers. Please spread the word in Canada's fight against fascism. Speaking of fascism, did you see the Politico article today that came out that a group chat of young Republican staffers, not just, there's like hundreds of young Republican staffers, was leaked today. And in it, they're praising Hitler. They are saying they want to bring back slavery. They're saying they want to execute all the brown people in America and all the immigrants. Basically just coming out as full-blown Nazi fucks. And so when you call one of these little reactionary douchebags a Nazi and they go, everything I don't like is Nazi, and then you just point to them to their group chat where they basically admitted they were Nazis. So fuck these guys. No scruples. Scruples are gone. Just slap them. Hazel A. Trump loves Caroline's lips. Did you get Mar-a-Lago lips yet? Seems like that's probably what's coming. Filler. Michael Harrow, Houston. Can you perform CPR on yourself? You may need to if you eat that can of Spam. Just induce vomiting. I'm going to cook the hell out of that can of Spam. Anything, it's going to be to an internal temperature of 165 degrees or higher. Anything inside of that will be dead. I don't know. I might make sushi out of it or something. What do you think, Monkey? Will that be good? Just cook up some rice and get some nigiri and make some wraps? Yeah. Yeah, right? Right, buddy? You evil little cat. You evil cat. You're so evil. Yes, you are. But no, you cannot do CPR on yourself. Always have a buddy around. Hazel A. Heart Trump's pick on timeline. Oh, Trump's neck vagina? That thing is so... I mean, it is... The neck muff is insane on the cover of Time. He's like looking in the air and it's just vulva. It is dirty. Absolutely dirty. Can't get out of the way of... I can't see the chat. Come on. Get out of the way of the chat. Get out of the way of the chat. Okay. KCB, what's... Oh, sorry. Wait, before that, super chat just came in. Taking oneness, I just found out about Bug Hall, Little Rascals is batshit libertarian. Isn't that the one also that's been to prison a bunch of times? Right? One of them was like been busted for meth and all sorts of things. I thought that was... Yeah, not talking like the 1930s Little Rascals. We're talking the modern Little Rascals that was back in the 90s. Speaking of Little Rascals, old-timer ones, when my sister was living in LA, she lived on a piece of property that had 3 houses on it, and she was in the middle house, and it was 3 homes built by the triplets from the Little Rascals, and they lived there. So that's kind of neat. The old one, original 1930s Little Rascals. Okay, so KCDB, what's the latest with the shutdown? I heard Mike Johnson saying this could be the longest in history. Is that a challenge? They're not going to get the government back together until they can figure out how to keep the Epstein files from ever being released. Although, what's the guy's? Eric Sewell? One Democrat member of the House said he thinks that a bunch of Republicans may jump ship and suddenly vote to release the Epstein files, or at least sign the petition to release the Epstein files. I don't understand why that new congresswoman from Arizona just doesn't find a federal judge to swear her in, because she can do that. She can just go to the district court and be like, "Hey, judge, swear me in. I am now officially a member of Congress. Let's do this thing." And then she can sign and release all those Epstein files, and there's nothing they can do about it then. But yeah, I think this is going to be a really long one, and it's going to continue on. They're doing all sorts of legal reductions in forces. They just got rid of a bunch of folks at Health and Human Services that deal with suicide prevention, stuff like that. Like, just god awful. Nothing good is coming from anything at the moment in all of that. So yeah, it's gonna be bad. King Ding Dong. Adolf Hitler gave Kirk the Medal of Freedom. Yep. Yogi 2012. There's been commercials during the live stream for a few months now. Not a big deal for me if it gets you a few pennies here and there. Oh, well, there you go. I know there's commercials on the recorded version, and those sometimes become so annoying because they'll put a commercial like every 2 minutes for an hour, and then I go back in and I change, how many commercials can be, and YouTube goes, cool, and then 2 shows later there's like 55 commercials again. I try to do it so there's 5 in an hour at most. It's basically every 12 minutes or so. But YouTube get greedy, and then they want to make it so no one watches people's shows anymore. Augie, regarding your can of Spam, offer some to Monkey Butt first. If she won't eat it, then you should not. Oh, she's gonna be eating some. You get yourself some fatty Spam, dude. Yeah, the Spam can right here. See what $7,142.83 donated. So doesn't have a production date as far as I can see. These numbers must mean something. There is a 199N, so 1990 something. I don't know. Nothing there. The top is rusted. I don't know if you can see that very well. There is an ad. So the internet was doing its thing because there's an ad, I believe. UPC code, spam points, get spam details, buy stuff from spam, or visit spam.com. So there is a spam.com on the back of that. So it's not pre-internet. So it is from the 90s. It tells you how to cook it. Save for spam stuff. It's worth 2 points for spam stuff. Mel Corporation. I don't have any copyright date anywhere on here. It would suggest. I know I got this as a. I think I was a freshman in high school, so it'd been like 95 or 96 when I got this. Yeah. I don't know. So, probably 30 years old-ish. Somewhere in there. Okay. Alright. Spam can. Hazel A, I hope you don't eat the spam, Houston. Well, at this point I won't, because we're only $20 towards $7,114.83 needed to raise for me to eat that can of spam. Spam, Google Lens the barcode on the side. I can do that? Maybe I'll do it next show because I'm running out of time here. Tia Futavong, Trump's vagina made it on the cover of Time. Yep. One of the funniest Twitter follows was Trump's neck vagina. That was always a funny one. Spy 620 says hello monkey butt. Treats for the baby. We can do that. How about some of these ones? Yeah? Got one of these? Is that too much? How about little guy? Little guy work for you? Are you still working on the other one stuck in your tooth? Need some floss, buddy? I think she's got Kirkland one stuck in her teeth right now. Okay. Digno Dunk just got an ad. Oh, there you go. Lyco Crypto, I've never seen a commercial. I use Firefox. You should too. Well, there you go. DCB, no idea why my super chat won't work. Anyone else have issues? I have no idea. I don't know. But anyway, I gotta get going. What time is the Mariners game tomorrow? Mariners game is 5 o'clock tomorrow. Ooh. It might end up being a nighttime show tomorrow if I don't do one at around this time. We'll see. Time for show tomorrow is to be determined because I will be watching the Mariners game. And, yeah. Okay. All right. Later, skaters. Have a good one. I gotta click the thing again. How about regular intro? Wink.